Good morning. Tough old coupon yesterday. We had an abandoned match, so a tricky one. These players coming into it a little unprepared. So 3-0, not quite what I would have expected. A 3-0 scoreline. Multiple changes as well for Milan, Inter Milan. So they didn't look that prepared for this particular encounter after a very recent Milanese derby. Did a red card come into play here? You could have arguably laid the draw second half on the basis of that red card in the hope that the team with 11 players would score, but wouldn't you know it, the team with 10 score. That's the cup for you. Chesterfield and Donny didn't really have an opinion here. I suppose looking in hindsight, the best value or the best angle in would have been to take on Chesterfield 2-0 up. They were second in the league, but why is it 2.45 the favourite? That gives clues, doesn't it? You could have arguably taken them on at 3-1 as well, and you wouldn't have got anything out of it, but your liability would be very short indeed. That's League Two for you. Second in the league, getting tonked by 10th. Liverpool-Tottenham, well, not much more I can say about that. The market got it spot on. 1.2 the favourite. 3-0, 3-1. Any other home score. Looks like it was a strong Liverpool 11 as well, which quite rare for this competition. Ream after penalty, so a 0-0, and that was a very short-priced Ream as well. 1.3 favourite, not scoring. Bit of the Tamworth Tottenham about that, waiting until extra time or pens and just getting the job done. AZ Alkmaar and Quick Boys, if you followed the in-play stats at 1-1, you would have been all over the AZ Alkmaar. Laying the draw second half, if the draw odds were short enough, would have been the best angle, with the draw odds rising markedly with an AZ goal. Again, another cup match. Rio Ave, Santiago Ver. Up to you if you took on the lower tier side against the Primera Liga side. 0-1 lead, care of a penalty, so that's something we always look out for. If it's a penalty, it's not really a deserved lead, or it can argue to be it's not a deserved lead. Clayton getting the equaliser before half-time. Wow, Clayton getting a very, very late winner there. So if he held on for the win, you'd have got, I don't know what you'd have got about this, 1.29, probably just under evens because it's such an early goal. But you've got the return anyway. But which way do these clubs go? Are they interested in the cup or not? Sociedad and Osasuna, did they get the job done before the red card? Looks like they did. And then the red card came and it was game over. Poor old Valencia. That's 12 goals in 2 matches against Barcelona now. Ouch. Change Barca side. Yamal playing, Torres, Rafinha, Pedri, De Jong, Lopez. It's quite a strong side. It was the quarterfinals, I suppose that's the reason why they fielded a strong side. Basel, I did warn you about them earlier on. Luzern did score first, but it was a very quick response. Care of Shaqiri. His hips don't lie. 2 goals from Shaqiri from the penalty spot. But they got the job done. It's all dependent on whether you got in after Henry Winkler, the Fonz, opened the scoring for Luzern. 3-minute gap. So if you got in, well done. In-play stats only for Zurich. If you followed Zurich's in-play stats, they would have convinced you, I think, that they were going to be the first team to score, as you can see there. The visualization there, all red on the right-hand side. Quite something. Big chances, 3. Shots in the box, 10-4. No hitting the woodwork on this occasion, but emphatic stuff. 23 goal attempts to 9. You'd have been with Zurich throughout. And as I said yesterday, it's the odds-on favourites tending to deliver in Turkey, where they don't tended to deliver anywhere else, like Coupe de France. Again, more struggling odds-ons. That could be a tactic of yours. Take on odds-on favourites in cup matches, particularly when they're very short, and particularly when they're leading. You could have done that with the AZ Alkmaar led, and the Quick Boys scored to make it 1-1. You could have a nice odd swing out of that. But you can see consistently the cup, not very tradable, but it is good if you're taking on favourites. Looking on to today, I've already gone a day ahead, and it's a good coupon today. I might be up and about this evening. It's a regular league football, which I do like, far more readable. Nantes and Brest, well, we can have our soccer stats look at that one in my newly stripped down laptop. So soccer stats, French League 1, Nantes and Brest. Let's have a look. Touch of the old draw writers for Nantes recently. Must be frustrating the manager. You're not losing, you're scoring, but you're not getting 3 points. Ouch. Any real patterns there? Well, equalising, led and let a 2-goal lead slip, led and let that lead slip late, equalising. You also note 70th minute, 90th minute, 86th minute. These are all patterns to look for as well. Could suggest some late action. Brest, absolutely chonked by Paris Saint-Germain recently. But prior to that, not doing too badly, picking up the 3 points against Le Havre. Well, that was obvious, wasn't it? We followed that match. So some good results against Lyon, but it's away from home. Despite the Rennes and Le Havre wins, they're a little bit wobblier. You'll note contrast, draws, and particularly from there, no draws. So which way will that tilt today? No draw in 12 and it's 10 away. Working our way down. 14th against 8th. Well, it's quite obvious against the top 12 away from home. Brest simply don't win. But they come alive against 13th and lower away from home. Win, win, loss, win. So notable. Both teams have scored in 3 out of 4 as well for Brest there. Nantes 14th. Sporadic, you'll have to say. They've only lost 3 times away from home to 2nd, 13th and 18th. And again, no patterns at all. You're losing to 2nd and you're also losing to bottom. So they're very, for me, an unreadable side, aren't they? Which Nantes turns up today? The one competitive against 3rd to 7th or the one losing to 13th and 18th? It's a tricky one. 4-1 loss last time these two met could swing things in Brest's favour today. Over 2.5 goals, well, 44% plays 70%. So again, don't have any strong conclusions with the overs. And looking at second half conceding action for Nantes at home, but Brest, it's about 50-50 with their scoring. But if Brest are vulnerable, it's in the first half. They've conceded 62% of their goals in the first half. So I don't have a strong opinion there, but Brest's head-to-head win could see them through. But why is it 2.4 the favourite? Maybe there's upcoming Champions League football next week. We can check that out here. Do check out, particularly when the odds don't make sense. There's always a reason. It could be an injury crisis at Brest. It could be upcoming Champions League distraction. You'll see that at uk.soccerway.com. Head on over to Tuesday and Wednesday. See whether the Champions League continues. There we go. Bang on the button. 11th of February, Brest are playing Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. And Paris Saint-Germain just got a 5-2 win against them domestically. That's probably the reason for the emphatic win. Putting it into hindsight for PSG, they wanted to just psychologically get one over on Brest. So this is another pre-Champions League weekend starting today. So watch out PSG, watch out Brest, and I think Monaco as well at some stage, or are Monaco a Europa League side? So upcoming Europa League, watch out for some upsets. this weekend. Doesn't make my life easier. Monaco playing Benfica on the Wednesday. So all sides on a Friday affected pretty much, bar Nantes with Champions League. So watch out for these results. They might be a bit strange. Bayern Munich in the Champions League. You'd think not so there. Not yet on Wednesday. I'm not sure if they've been knocked out or anything. Nope, they're playing Celtic. There we go. So again, got the Champions League curse, which might hit these Friday sides. Juventus, I think they're more of a Europa League side. Am I right or wrong? Well, we've got AC Milan, and we've got Juve on the Tuesday. So this is why a lot of these sides will be involved in the Champions League, playing on a Friday, trying to get an extra day's rest. So watch out this evening. Doesn't make my life easier at all. Target on your back when you're pre-Champions League and away from home. You could be more vulnerable than usual. Similar story for Brest. Look at Nantes, actual favourites for this particular match, despite a 4-1 tonking by Brest. Champions League is going to play with their minds. It's the distraction that won't go away. Simple as that. So you've got that to worry with this evening. So in-play stats will be vitally important. And odds like this for Bayern, if they score first and early, they've got to be laid. They have had a tendency for the wheels to fall off pre-Champions League. Werder Bremen have got a couple of goals in them, as they showed against Dortmund, albeit a 10-man Dortmund. Rayo Vallecano, Valladolid. Let's have a look at that one while we're a little early in the video. I think Rayo Vallecano riding high at the moment. Let's take a look. Rayo Vallecano and Valladolid. You only have two moves. So one of them's to get her knee, and the other one's to get her in the crutch. I'll pass on that one. I'm sure I'll figure it out, but let's go to the football first. Well, the form side is quite clear. You can see that with your own eyes, can't you? And they're doing the business away from home as well, albeit not losing. Future many draws, keeping things tight as well, not scoring that second goal away from home, but they are at home on this occasion, where they do score 2+ goals in the last 3 home matches, including a win against Champions League Girona, coming from behind. Randy Niketa, the mighty Randy Niketa, and 2-1 win against Celta Vigo, 3-3 against Real Madrid. So impressive stuff since the 7th of December. This has got a feeling of new manager coming in. Look at the defence tightening up all of a sudden, and only the big gun scoring more than 2 goals against them. So they look to be almost banker-type material, like Basel yesterday. Look at Valladolid's away performances. You can look at them quickly in the current streaks and sequences. No draw in 11. 6 consecutive away defeats. Conceded the last 11 away. It's not very good reading, is it? Both teams have scored in the last 5 home matches for Vallecano without them losing. So let's hope that Valladolid score first. That would be a really good trading angle. It's 6th against bottom. Don't forget the Hull City v Sheffield United factor. The Accrington Stanley against the top 4 side and winning away from home. Montpellier, bottom of the league, winning. You saw them beating Brest 3-1. Valladolid, bottom. Desperate need for points. But the record is woeful. They haven't scored that second goal against the top 17 away from home. Rayo Vallecano, not really met the bottom 2 and have been a little tight against 16th, 18th and 15th, not scoring that second goal. So this might be a tough match, tougher than the odds suggest for Vallecano today. Looking at goal times away, well, ouch. 18 goals conceded in the last half hour of away matches for Valladolid. Rayo Vallecano scoring. If we change that to home, it's just about 50-50, isn't it? But they are more vulnerable away from home. Conceded 2/3 of their matches, their goals away from home. So Yes, but I'm a bit worried about Rayo Vallecano's single goal scoring against the bottom 3 or 4. That could come back to haunt them. We have a smattering of other leagues today. Austrian Bundesliga, Sturm Graz, Mechelen and Ghent. Dinamo Zagreb against Sibernek. If you were following the live stream yesterday, Dinamo Zagreb against AC Milan. Remember, in the Champions League, are they playing on Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't think they are. No. Maybe demoted to the Europa League. If I'm assuming that's going to be on a Thursday. So you've got to be careful. You've got to know these sides for the weekend, because if they're strong favourites and they concede first, just got to be careful that it's not going to be one of those upsets, pre-Europa Conference League upsets. That's vitally important. And you've seen already, if you're a regular member, you'll know the impact that the Champions League has on results. English League 2, Mansfield against Northampton. I'll put my neck out here. I don't think these two are involved in the Champions League. But let's have a look at the research for old Jane and her friend. English Premier League, Championship, League 1. I think this was. Yeah, League 1, Mansfield, Northampton. Now, the lower down the leagues we go, the trickier these matches become to read and to trust. But let's see if there's anything in the seasonal in-play stats that we can work with today. You saw the Doncaster, second in the league, getting 5 goals scored against them. It's these kind of leagues. And it's hit and miss for Mansfield at the moment. 4 consecutive defeats after 4 wins in the last 5 matches. Northampton winning very infrequently since the 29th of October. Only 3 wins, 2 of them coming at home. Does not look good for Northampton, does it? Failing to score that second goal as well is something you should take note of. In case they score first, just suggest. And it's a consistently bad pattern. All season, it looks. Well, from the 28th of September onwards, they've yet to score that second goal away from home. It's always a good target, because if they're not going to be scoring 2 consecutive goals, you can take them on if they lead. But Mansfield just struggling for goals themselves. Working on down. No strong patterns there. Looking at league position, 14th against 20th, relegation 6-pointer status for Northampton. Not sure how the leagues look for Mansfield. We can have a look at the standings just to see the points. Are Mansfield involved in the relegation dogfight despite being 14th? I think they're quite safe. 12-point gap at the moment. It can be get, of course, but it's a nice buffer for Mansfield, but things are a little more urgent for Northampton, despite a win and 2 draws buffer to Burton Albion. So at 33 points, Zoom, we're up to 17th with a win. Mansfield 37, get them into that important 40-point barrier, which could give them a tilt at a top 6 berth, which is only 4 points away from that 40-point barrier. So look for this kind of motivation, because that could give you an argument to take on the draw, couldn't it? Looking at the challenge table, well, Mansfield 1-0 defeats against 18th and 22nd suggests, again, if Northampton score first, we can take on Northampton with a bit of insurance. That's what it looks like. Northampton do their best work against fellow strugglers, it seems, and then a real cluster against 5th and 6th. But that's about it. Mid-table, struggling for that second goal again. They've scored it once and they didn't win. Real struggles for that second goal against 8th and lower. So an interesting set of matches, but it is must-win territory now for Northampton. And it's must-win for Mansfield. So I would lay the late draw here. They've got playoff ambitions. If they can get to that 40-point barrier. A real buffer against 4th from bottom with a win today. 4 going down in this league. It's very tough. Could be some late goal action. 75th minute onwards, 13 goals scored or conceded in Northampton away matches. So that has some legs, I think. It's all about the trading angle, at least. if Northampton score first. Well, Man United, I wouldn't be touching them with a barge pole. Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester City. Let's hope have some more fun and games for the Man United horror show. An awfully poorly ran club. Why on earth you're signing the likes of Casemiro and Eriksen, I don't know. Very strange indeed. That just tells you all you need to know about Man United. 0-2 loss to Crystal Palace. Leicester, tonked by Everton, beat Tottenham, but this was a Maddison and Solanke-less Tottenham. I am very unimpressed with Ruud van Nistelrooy. This is an opportunity for Man U to get the win, but do you trust them? I wouldn't trust them with stolen money. Premier League 2 and the Professional Development League, 2 leagues you should have on your radar for 2.5 goals. So if you want to practice your 2.5 goals, those are the 2 leagues to do it in. Go all the way down to England Professional Development League, 73% over 2.5 goals. Premier League 2, 71% over 2.5 goals this season. Also, as an over 2.5 goal trader, it's important to know the over 1.5 goals stats, 88% and 89%. So if it's 0-0 at half time, that's another angle in. If you were expecting overs and it's 0-0 at half time, you've got a good chance of seeing at least a goal and getting yourself a nice trade out of that. So watch out for these, mostly afternoon and evening matches. French League 2, looking at the standings, you're looking for motivating factors. It's February now, season end is nearly with us. So the boys on top, Paris FC, with a win if they're playing today, could go top, but just slight goal difference favouring Lorient. Metz, a win for Metz would take them into that 40-point barrier and the possibility of automatic promotion. Dunkirk, a win today could take them into that promotion playoff place. So real motivating factors for all the top 5. Laval as well, just outside the top 5. This is the playoff quarterfinals to go into French League 1. A win today takes them to 37. Ditto Annecy to 36. Plenty of motivating factors. And at the bottom, well, it's looking a bit grim, isn't it? Martigues with a win takes them to 21 points and the possibility of a relegation playoff place. That's the only thing they'll be looking for this season. 2 consecutive wins. Can you imagine the problem they'd be in if they hadn't got those? Sen, it looks dead, I'm afraid. Being realistic. But 3 consecutive wins could see them getting into that 20-plus point barrier. Rodez looking behind their backs. Ajaccio looking behind their backs. Clermont, Estactois looking behind their backs. Look at Ajaccio. Can you imagine taking 9 points away from that? The spot of bother they'd be in. So they're picking up wins, these relegation threatened sides. And it's important to know who's doing what and where. You can now see Red Star, desperate need for points. Estactois, Martigues, this is a relegation 6-pointer. So for me, I'd be laying any late draw in these, and I'll be looking at the in-play stats as well. Paris FC, possibility of going equal on points with a win today at home. Motivating factors in play, French League 2, and indeed in the other bottom basement leagues, German Bundesliga 5, for example. Check out their season. FC Köln on top. Hamburg. These are the usuals you'd expect. Can Hamburg get themselves out of this damn league? They've been far too long in it. Hertha Berlin, similar story. Schalke, ex of the Bundesliga. Greuther Fürth, ex of the Bundesliga as well. So at the top, motivating factors for Kaiserslautern onwards. 3 points makes a big difference today. We've got Greuther Fürth and Regensburg. Greuther Fürth a bit too near the relegation zone in 23rd place. A win today takes them to 26 and zooming up that table to near a top 10 finish. Regensburg are at the bottom. Their wish is for that relegation playoff place, realistically. So 3 points today for Jan Regensburg is vital. Takes them to 17. Equal footing with Ulm, but the negative goal difference is appalling. Croydon Munster, just above the relegation zone. A win for them today will just put the gap between them and Ulm a lot more comfortable. Hamburg, a win today could take them top. So plenty motivating factors in the Bundesliga 2, making that a league worth following from here on in. Motivation, that's what it's all about from February all the way through. Irish Super Cup precludes the start of the season in Ireland. It's going to be one of your summer leagues, so get to know it. Brescia and Salernitana. Just check the league positions for these two. Salernitana in the relegation zone. A win today takes them into the relegation playoff places, or even leapfrogging them, possibly. So that's an important match. Brescia, where are they? Mid-table mediocrity, but they're only 2 points shy of a top 8 berth, which is the playoff berths. So a win today will break that important 30-point barrier for Brescia. So again, huge motivation for both of these two sides. The market can't split them, but laying any late draw is an obvious play, isn't it? I tend to do 106, 109. Members know what I'm talking about when I say 106, 109. Eerste Divisie, usual goals expected. We can pop down, have a look at the Netherlands. Eerste Divisie, 59%. It's not as emphatic as the Premier League 2, is it? But it's still there. 80% over 1.5 goals. That's for every single match. So we've got a good chance, if there's a 0-0 at half-time, of you laying that draw second half. Polish Ekstraklasa, nice to see that back, but two tough-to-call matches. And we've got a local derby, Porto and Sporting, derby-style match. Best avoided unless you have an emphatic angle like one of the teams hitting the bar 3 times while being a goal down. So it's getting a lot better today, but now we've got the curse of the Champions League upon us, with the vast majority of tonight's teams involved in the Champions League. Juve, Bayern Munich, Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain and Brest. That just adds a cloud to trading these matches. I hope to see you a bit later on. It's normally my day off today, but I'm keen to do some trading. I'm keen to make some money. If I am up and about, I'll certainly be following these, but you've got to be extra cautious, haven't you, with that curse of the Champions League. If you fancy joining Football Trading Profits, then click on the members area link at footballtradingprofits.com. Wait for the link to load. Have a look, and I hope to see you for a live stream or two on Saturday and Sunday. No Premier League research this Saturday because it is the FA Cup dominating the coupon in England, which means we're left with French Liga, Bundesliga 2, Italian Serie A, Spanish La Liga, Dutch Eredivisie, and we've got a whole raft of FA Cup matches in England. But we still have English League 1, which is good, and some of the Championship matches. So that's promising. And the vast majority of English League 2. But I'm sure this is an English FA Cup weekend. There it is. So Man City away at Leyton Orient, Leeds dominating in the Championship. Is this going to be an unwelcome distraction? Do they want to get rid of this FA Cup in the hope that it will just reduce the congestion in the fixture list and help them focus more on the big prize, which is Premier League football? Saints, well, they're down, aren't they? Let's be honest. Burnley, 0-0 itis, so watch out for them. They're going to be tough to score against if they play with their first 11. Newcastle, a chance for them to get back to winning ways after, they did beat the Arsenal. So are they going to be focusing on the Cup? They obviously into the EFL Cup. Are they into the FA Cup? And that's a fascinating fixture, Brighton and Chelsea. Likely you'll see first 11s in the Premier League with that week off. So we could see the market being an accurate reflection today or on Saturday. If you want to have Premier League research when it's on in your email box, well, just sign up here Betfair Trading made it easy course. And don't forget to subscribe. youtube.com/@football trading profits. Be doing a live stream this weekend, probably free live stream. No Premier League football, alas, but we have a lot of elites. But don't forget, the curse of the Champions League is back, and it turns these normally extremely reliable teams into Sunday League pub sides. This is two Champions League sides playing each other. Bayer Leverkusen away from home could be vulnerable. Eintracht Frankfurt, I believe, in the Europa League away from home could be vulnerable. Mainz as well. We've got to be very, very careful of this curse. Have a great day. And I might see members a bit later on Telegram.